This is the 5 Point Play Podcast, the Die Hard Duke Basketball Fans Podcast. We got the OG podcast tonight. Kind of keep switching up the rotations a little bit on you guys. Keep it fresh, keep you guys on your toes. And when I say the OG podcast, I mean AC will be here, but in typical 5 Point Play podcast style behind the scenes, we're always running into technical difficulties. So he'll be joining us shortly, but I got my main man Jack on. Jack, we got a lot of things cooking here. We are dangerously close to the start of Duke basketball. We're going to preview a couple of scrimmages. We're recording this on Monday night, as always. And tomorrow we have Brotherhood Run. We got Johnny Dawkins, the GOAT,
Yeah,
coming back in
less
Cameron.
than
It's
less than
gonna be
24 hours out.
Yep, less than 24 hours, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. What is that, ACC Network Extra, or whatever they call it this
Yeah,
week?
it's streaming service.
Yeah.
So
So,
if you have, it's on ESPN Plus for those who have that. If you don't, you have to have an ESPN subscription, whether that be through ESPN or through cable. Um, yeah, and then you stream it through the app or the website.
yeah, so we'll have that one. We'll preview a little bit of that as much as we can. And then Sunday, ESPN2, 7 p.m., is a scrimmage against Tennessee. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Tennessee is coming into this year ranked number 18, and obviously we have a little bit of a recent history with them. So I'm glad that John has taken the team on the road. I mean, they're going to sell that out for a scrimmage, which is insane. In during football season. I mean, obviously it's on a Sunday in Knoxville, but still. And I think we have Pobs will be in the house,
Yeah, Pobs will be in the building
and we're
per
going to do
sources.
yeah. And so obviously the 5 Point Play podcast is part of the College Huddle. It's a network of college podcasts everywhere from football to basketball, and we're going to partner up with the Tennessee hoops folks this week and kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive into that preview, but we'll do one tonight as well, so that everybody's ready for that. But I will say that um, we have probably for the first time I can remember a lot more questions than possibly answers of what the starting lineup is going to be, what the rotation is going to look like, and I don't think we're going to get the majority of those answers in these next two scrimmages, Jack. But w- let's just start there. Like, what do you anticipate for starting lineup tomorrow?
I just, I mean, I think it's going to be Foster, Evans, Dame, Sam, and Big Pat. I definitely feel like I'm leaving someone out, but that's how much talent this team has.
Do you think it's a talent thing, or do you think it's a we just we just don't know who's stepped up so far in practice? And
I think it's a mix of the two. I think, like, I mean, we are not there. We are not behind the scenes. We may hear things here and there, but we are not in the building. We do not talk to John. We are not inside John's head. So who the hell knows on that front? But we're we got a lot of talent on this team, and I I've said this like 16 times this offseason. I do not envy the coaching staff. They have a lot of really tough decisions to make.
yeah,
I think
and
we're
it's
going to see the start of that tomorrow.
yeah, and one of the concerns I have into this year, and I was thinking about this earlier, that I really want to see how these players respond because there's going to be a lot of adversity internally just when your number is not getting called the amount that you think it should be. And every season, you always hear about how tight the team is, how connected and how together. But you only really know that once the season gets kicked off, and we don't have to look far. Last season, we saw what was happening with Slim. In the first couple games before he really went off against Auburn, there were some salacious rumors out there. And so what I'm saying is that it's just going to be interesting to see how each one of these different players handles what their role is going to be, especially early on. Now, getting back to the starting lineup, I think for sure we know four players that will start, in my opinion, and that's going to be Caleb Foster, Slim, Cameron Boozer, and Big Pat. Like, to me, those four are
Yeah.
locked in. That's
I'm
I can be
realizing
wrong.
the guy I forgot. It's Hamania.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
Because I
I can
said
see a
Dame.
number of guys. Yeah, I think it will be Dame. That's who I think is going to.
I think it will be, but I think Hymania and Caden Boozer are the first two off the bench, and I think they're in early.
It's possible. I would say that I'll go back to what I said last week. I do think that John Shire is going to give Darren Harris every
Yes.
opportunity to be the first one off the bench in the guard rotation. And I think that's where you got to really clarify. When you say first off the bench, I don't necessarily mean you're six man, but when you're the first for guards, that's your six man role. When you're the first for forwards, that's your six man role.
Mhm.
Hymania, obviously when Malik gets back, that'll be different. Now he's looking solid right now. I doubt they'll play him tomorrow, but nothing would surprise me with Duke.
Yeah, I mean, I think we see Malik on Sunday. I don't think we see him tomorrow. Hey, look who
Uh,
decided to join us.
Speaking of when you never know when they're gonna show up, it's Godfather AC. So um,
Hey,
we were only singing your praises. AC and I
I'm
have not
sure.
been on a
I'm sure.
podcast
I'm sure. You
together
didn't say
for.
anything about me saying Cooper Flag was coming back or stealing my main event or nothing, huh?
No, I did not give you any credit for either one of those two things.
New Balance owes us royalties now.
Yeah.
The main event, that's right. I mean, when I came up with that last year,
It's a
yeah.
wild
But
statement.
anyway,
That's a wild statement.
so we were just kind of talking about the scrimmage tomorrow, but really we started going down the rabbit hole of what is your expected starting lineup tomorrow. And for me, um, I think that there are four guaranteed starters for tomorrow. Uh, and this is going off nothing but my gut at this point, but I think it's Caleb Foster. Uh, to be lose areas. Um, Caleb Foster, Isaiah Evans, Cam Boozer, Big Pat, and my main man, Dame Sar. AC's having all kinds of problems. I hope Duke doesn't have these kind of problems tomorrow. That's um, that's what we're really not looking for, if we're being totally honest here. Um, but Jack, I think it might be just a two-man weave tonight. If we can't.
Hold on. AC is in the he's logged in. He is just backstage right now. I'm gonna shoot him a text.
But yeah, we got to keep this train rolling. But I will say that one of the things that I am looking forward to is um, is Big Pat. What kind of touches that is he going to be garnering for Duke? Because I think one of the things that we didn't have last year that we were clamoring for all season was a true low post option, and I do think that
Yeah.
Big Pat gives us that um, this season. It's going to be interesting to see if John tries to get that going right away, or just tries to play more of a free flowing game and not give anybody else any tape in the scrimmages. AC, how you doing, bro?
I don't know. My system is shot. It's done. I don't know, man. I keep getting cut out. I don't know what's happening. This is ridiculous.
Well, it's a good thing I can
Oh
talk.
gosh.
I have no idea what's happening. Yeah, no, it's great. That's
Well,
You're
why I
here
need this
now.
point guard one.
Let's take advantage of it while we
I'm
have the
here.
opportunity.
Right now, it's working, so let's take advantage of it while it is.
Who's your starting five tomorrow?
Caleb, Zay, I think it's Dame, and then Camp Boozer and Pat. I think it's
So
the best
we all
five. I
agree.
think that's how it goes for now. I
Yeah,
think
I think
Nick has an argument for getting in the starting lineup somehow, but I don't know who he kicks out right now. I think Dame is there until proven otherwise, and I think Nick
Yeah.
is a great backup option because he can sub in at multiple places and things. So,
The Super Six Man, as I have a role I
but I
have
think that's how it
often
starts.
enjoyed
Yeah.
seeing. AJ
yeah.
Griffin was a Super Six Man for a while.
The head coach John Shire was a Super Six man. He
John
had to do
was
it
a
his
Super
sophomore
Six
season.
Man.
The
So
hero we
he can
needed
sell
that year.
that to anybody. I mean, he has. That's one of the things about him. He can sell so many different scenarios to these kids, and not
'Cause he's
selling because it's not
done them.
selling, but you do have to sell, right? But he's
It's
been there. He
pitch. It's
understands
pitching.
it. He knows exactly. Like you can be a six man and be effective for your team in that. So
Lou
whether he's
Williams is a
starting or
great
not. I think
example of that in the
Jimenez will
NBA,
have a huge,
for example.
yeah. But
Yeah,
whatever
I
with
mean,
the NBA, I mean, these kids want to get to the
I'm just
NBA,
giving
but
you that example.
John Shire's,
You have a guy
yeah,
in the league
exactly.
who was in the league for a long time and made a career as a six-man. Him, Jamal Crawford.
yeah, Jamal
These
Crawford
guys
is the one that,
exist.
yeah, Jamal
Yeah,
Crawford. And I guarantee you, Jamal Crawford could step on a court right now and drop 50. On
I bet
that
he
Didn't he
guy
could,
drop
is,
man.
50 in
This
the
dude's
last
a
game of his
monster.
career?
he's
Yeah,
unreal.
he's a
He
monster.
he doesn't age. Um,
Hmm.
so I will say it's funny that we all kind of landed at the same thing for a starting lineup. But one of the things, and we're going to get to a mailbag, so this is not jumping ahead of the mailbag here, but I did want to bring up Darren Harris a little bit because that
Yeah,
it was a little bit of controversy over Darren Harris on our
sure.
last podcast. Where do you land on what John is going to do with Darren? Um, I want to start with tomorrow. Don't even worry about the whole season. I just
Hmm.
want to start with tomorrow. What do you see John doing with Darren Harris tomorrow?
He'll be the seventh or eighth man, because you have Malik, you'll have Darren, you'll have Nick coming off the bench. So those three will
Well,
come off
is
the bench
Malik
either.
going to play?
I'm not sure about that yet. I don't know if he's
I
going to
am
play yet.
operating under the assumption he won't.
I am
Okay,
too.
and that's kind of where I think things were sitting. I mean, he came back to contact and practice. I know the initial timeline was that he wasn't going to be back until like mid-November.
Right.
So maybe they sit him the first couple of games, even that very first game against Texas. I don't know what they're going to do with him for that, but either way, for if we're talking about just tomorrow, Darren's going to be one of the first subs off the bench. He's going to be in that first group of subs that comes in, and he's going to sub in. He's going to sub in largely throughout the game. I think John's going to give him every chance to earn what he has earned, and if he doesn't play to that level, then he'll be replaced like everybody else is subject to. It's not like Darren Harris is this terrible basketball player who can't play. It's the nature of this team. If you are not doing what needs to be done to help this team win games, you will not play. And whether you're a senior or a freshman or whatever, like Mason Gillis, you saw him just disappear from the rotation for the most part at the end of last year when he wasn't hitting shots, he wasn't being aggressive, all the things that got him time in the beginning of the season. It's not a senior thing. It's not a you've done this and been here thing. It's a are you going to help us win thing. And I think John has sold that throughout his tenure at Duke. It shouldn't be a surprise to any of these guys, and we'll see. We'll kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, I think that's right. And that was kind of the way I was trying to pitch it last week. Is I think that John is going to give him every opportunity because I do
Mm-hmm.
think that he's earned it. He's had an
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
off season.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he's done from his body to his work ethic.
Yeah.
The players all love him, so that's all great. But at the end of the day, when the lights are on, if you're not out there contributing in the ways that you're being asked to contribute,
Yep.
then yeah, I mean, there's a dog eat dog world at Duke. There's
Yep.
just too many good players, and that's one of the beauties of coming to Duke.
Yeah.
Is that if you can show that you're the best of the best in this group,
Mm-hmm.
then you are going to play. Period.
Well, it's how you sell. It's how you, when you're recruiting, it's how you sell, to a recruit that, okay, maybe you don't think you're going to break into the top rotation with the guys that I'm recruiting and the other guys that are returning. And maybe you think you're going to have to sit and develop and everything else, but you can see some of these guys that are going to have to do that. Darren Harris, probably Sebastian Wilkins, those type of guys that they're going to earn their stripes in that first year by doing what they're supposed to do, being a part of the scout team, coming in the blowouts and doing what they're asked to do. And then, you have a good offseason, you will play. Like, John's proven that he'll do that for these guys. So he's not lying to the kids. It's not one of those things where, oh, you'll play and then you never see the floor. He gives them every chance.
I want to give a K example of a guy recently who very much had to earn his stripes. I bring this example up a fair amount, I'd say. But, John was there for this guy's whole collegiate career. The guy who started out just being a practice body, and by the end of his career, he was a pretty important piece of the team rotation. It's Jack White.
Yeah.
This is a guy who went from like an unranked 3-star recruit to who was, guarding Jason Tatum in practice every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at the guys he had to guard his first 2 years. And then
Yeah.
his junior year, he becomes a serious rotation player,
Mm-hmm.
becomes like knocked down from 3 for the first 2 months.
Mm-hmm. And
But
even for these kids now, even Jack White might not even be a great example because they don't play the same position.
No, but that's an NBA champion.
But Yeah, no, but I know, but kids want recency, right? And they're gonna see Darren Harris, who plays their same position, and say that's under Coach K 8 years ago. Like this is under John Shire next year.
I hate that so much.
Right? So this is John Shire right now having somebody like a Darren Harris who's a 5-star player to play for Team Takeover. All these kids know who that kid is.
Yeah.
And then they see him take his time. And it's not like he had to take his time for 3 years. This is a 1 year take your time. Like that's not that big of an ask. And if John is sticking to that, then easier to sell. So you give Darren Harris every opportunity to play because it comes to recruiting, not just for your team now, but when it comes to recruiting, you can also sell. I'm going to give you that. Look at Darren Harris. It's up to you to take it.
You brought up Sebastian Wilkins.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a good example. I think I don't think that he's going to be a CTC Hall of Famer and not do anything else. I just think he's going to be a really, really good player for Duke. Yeah. I just don't see that this year. Injury withstanding. If there are injuries and he's asked to do it, then sure. But I just don't see the rotation minutes for him. And to be fair, he wasn't brought in to be that. He was brought in to kind of be slowly brought along. So I could be wrong, and he just balls out, and that's great. But right now, I think that is the same path for Seabass as it was for Darren Harris last year. Obviously, slightly different positions, but that's kind of where I see him.
Yeah. Yes. I see that.
He said it in his own video. They had that video over the summer, the hype video for him. And in the video, he said he's here to take his time and learn, and he wants to contribute to this team how he can this year, so that next year he's ready to go. Like that's literally what he said in his video. Like, and so that's what he was being told. Now, practice happens. Maybe perform better. Maybe somebody performs less than what they're expected to perform better than expected. And you earn time, but let's be honest. The kid was brought in the spring as a backup to Cedric Howard, but not just a backup, but we have an opportunity to bring someone in who wants him to Duke early. So let's do that. If we had Cedric Howard, then I don't know that Seb is even a conversation, whether he's on the team or not. I don't know that he's a conversation for us going into the season. But the fact that we don't have Cedric Howard, you get the duo of Dame Sarr and Sebastian Wilkins instead, which is awesome. I'll take it. I think that's
it might even be an upgrade. I don't know how hard of a take that is.
Maybe, yeah. But historically speaking, anybody who comes in the late period has been a later contributor at Duke, even under John Shire, simply because they weren't a part of the plan. And the plan goes out 2 years in advance. So if they weren't part of the plan, then that's where you got to kind of adapt to what you see. Sebastian Wilkins is a really good player, talent-wise. Is he picking up the schemes? Is he picking up all the different calls? If he's not picking those things up, which it's kind of apparent that he's not, and from some of the clips we've seen with Dildy practicing and Brad's and some of the other guys, and they're always on him about being in the right place and everything. To me, from a coaching standpoint, if I'm hearing that, I'm hearing someone who is not picking up the things yet, which is totally understandable from a freshman. 100% understandable. I get it. So we'll see where he is. I think he's a really good player, and I think he can contribute to this team in some way, shape, or form, whether it's on the main floor or not.
Yeah, I think that's right. So let's do a quick. I don't even know if prediction is the right word for this game. But
it's our preseason. We get to practice.
Right. But give if you want to give a score, give a score. But give like one semi-hot take on an individual performance. Maybe it's one that you want to see. Maybe it's one that you think happens.
So you're telling me that my hot take should be Johnny Dawkins coming back out in his Duke jersey and dropping 20?
That would be a scorching hot take.
That'd be something.
That would be crazy.
Holy shit.
Let's see. I think Pat's gonna put up 15 points.
That's a hot take?
I don't think that's that hot. I mean, it's like lukewarm.
That's a hot take.
I don't know if I think he's gonna do it in like 20 minutes at most. I don't think we're gonna see more than 20 minutes out of any of the guys.
That's for sure. That's a good point.
That's possible. So what was the minute distribution? I'm trying to think the minute distribution last year with the Arizona State game.
I don't know. I just know it was 197 to 30. So
yeah, underselling it.
like I kind of like my hot take is that we're gonna see that again. Quite honestly,
Honestly,
like Johnny Dawkins is bringing in a completely different team from what he had the year before. Like almost across the board. He has a couple of like
UCF.
low level players that came back, but outside of that, the entire team is transfers that have come back. So he's also like, it's not like Duke is just dealing with whatever and their roster and turnover and everything else. Duke, honestly, we're bringing back 5 guys who contributed and played. So like
For a
our
Final
guys
Four
are going to come into this season. Yeah, our guys are coming into the season like ready. So I really do think that this team is going to be ready from the start. Where I think UCF is one of those teams that they're turning over a lot on their roster. And they have some pretty decent players. I think they're actually gonna probably do some nice things in the Big 12 or whatever conference they're in at this point.
They are Big 12.
But yeah, I know. But no, my hot take is that the score is going to be very similar to that Arizona State game. Last year, it was like 103-47. I think you're going to see something very similar. Give me 150. I think that's what's going to happen here because UCF is going to have to establish some stuff in terms of individual players, like doing something, surprising or whatever else. Give me Dame Sarr actually leading this team in scoring because I think that would be very surprising. So I'm gonna say Dame is gonna lead this team in scoring with this because I think John is gonna. I think he's gonna like Jack said, nobody's gonna play a bunch of minutes, but somebody you want to see play with some different combinations and rosters is Dame, so you can see where he fits because he's that defensive tweener who can do some things on offense, but he's not amazing at any one thing. But if the guy gets on a roll, then watch out. So I'm saying Dame as the leading scorer is gonna be a hot take for this game.
If I may really quickly just interject about Dame, I also think John's going to kind of see where he fits positionally because I mean, that's a question.
What I mean. He's going to get a lot of time for that.
Yeah. He's a guy who could theoretically play 4 different. I mean, John's very much been an advocate of positionless basketball the last few seasons, but there's a guy who could play 4 different positions at the college level. Probably pretty well. I think it's just where he fits positionally around different guys is going to be quite important.
Yep.
All right, well, I'll wrap this up. I want to see, and I think I will see, this is my hot take, at minimum combined 10 threes between Slim and Darren Harris tomorrow. I think that is going to happen.
That's a lot of threes.
That's a lot of threes.
We want to open it up to 14 threes and add Caleb Foster to the trio?
Are we talking makes or attempts?
Attempts.
Jesus, I don't think the first 3 minutes. Yeah, we can add Caleb Foster in there. Let's make it an even 15.
Because I'd love to see him be aggressive. Jesus.
I think he will be aggressive. I think he will be, and I think he
was aggressive in the exhibition last year too.
Yeah, so I think he will be.
This is true,
and I also think that he believes, and rightly so, that this is his team. So I think that he wants to come out and establish that.
By the way, last year nobody had more than 23 minutes, in the game. That was Caleb Foster with 23.
Okay. Yeah.
Did anyone else have more than 20?
Oh yeah, Caleb Khan had 20, Proc had 21, Coop had 20, Malowitz had 20, Cian had 22, Mason had 22, Malik Brown had 17, Zay had 11.
I missed that team.
Yeah, so John, like you said before, don't put a bunch on tape. Go out here and play basketball. We're not going to do a bunch of sets and stuff. Kind of play to your talent, play to your strengths, and let's see what works and what doesn't. There's going to be a lot of quick hitters. They're going to play a lot different than how they play in the season. So, which leads itself to scoring a bunch of points because I don't think John wants a team every game that's putting out 100 points because you're going to make your team tired as hell if you're doing that in November. But I think you'll see this team. I think you'll see them run like that to start this game, kind of like we did against Alabama last year in the Elite Eight. Save that for the end of the season.
That was such a fun game.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's my hot take there, and then let's flip it right over to Tennessee, who we play Sunday again, 7 p.m. ESPN2. Tennessee's coming in ranked number 18 in the country, so go into their place. They don't like us. It should be a great environment for us to go in right before the season starts, which is basically a week later on November 4th against Texas here in Charlotte. So I think for Duke in that game, obviously I think it'll be a lot different than what we see tomorrow night against Central Florida. I think that goes without saying. This is kind of where I believe it's for any player outside of basically Cam Boozer, Big Pat, everybody else, though, you're up for grabs. And that's your last chance to be like, I'm in this rotation to start the season. What do you expect in this game, AC?
I expect heavy Cam Boozer. I expect this to look more like a game that we would see in March for Duke, or even one of these early non-conference games. I think they'll run more sets. I think the rotation will look more like the rotation will in season. This is an opportunity against a really good team where you don't have to worry about a win or a loss, where you can start to play your rotation a little bit and test yourself against some guys that are really good, but again, unproven. Couple freshmen in Native Ment and Amari Evans that are going to be playing for Tennessee.
Never heard of him.
Oh my guy. Oh my guy.
That might get personal with some of the guys on our team.
You got Vernon Carey's little brother. I'm not even gonna say his name, Jalen. Vernon Carey's
little
brother.
Vern.
He's gonna be on the floor. Again, kind of like UCF. Either guys in new roles or brand new guys on the squad. JP Estrella and Akpara are like the two players that have really returned and had some, and Cade Phillips, had some contributing minutes to the team last season. So I think this will look more like a real game than the UCF game, or I won't say a real game, but a game indicative of how we're going to play throughout the season.
Yeah, Jack, what do you got?
There's a lot of familiar faces one way or another, guys Duke's played or recruited. I don't think there's anyone left from the team John's first year. There might be one or two guys. But
was Akpara on that squad?
I can't remember.
I'm gonna look. Keep talking, I'll look it up. He'd be the only one. He'd be the only one. And
Sorry,
he was not on the team then. Oh, Jack got the Adam Schefter text.
What about BG?
Mid-show.
Oh, that.
The mid-show.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody from the team that beat us in the tournament.
So the only interesting storylines when it comes to the roster is Nate Ament and or Ament, however the hell you say it.
Who?
And Estrella, guys like that who we recruited. John recruited these guys.
Sure.
As well as Jalen Carey, Little Vern, as I called him when we played him 2 years ago at James Madison. A couple of like rematches or guys who,
he's going to be an awesome test for our bigs.
He is.
Like,
he is.
He's not a big guy.
Talented. He's 6'9", but he's very much a talented.
6'9" is generous for Jalen Carey.
He's listed 6'9".
He is 6'6" at best. It's just like Duke used to. Let's call his Boozer at 6'9". He's 6'6" at best.
Yeah, that's actually.
But he's an awesome player, regardless of the height. He's an amazing player. He's gonna he's one of those bigs that get your bigs in foul trouble.
Yes, and he plays not too dissimilar from Vern. Obviously, a lot shorter, but when he
reminds me more of Norchad Omier, honestly. I think he's more like Omier.
Now, yeah. You know what I mean when I say that, though.
But just he's a bruiser. Yeah. He's gonna beat you up all game. That's gonna be his thing. And it's a typical Tennessee.
That's just Tennessee basketball. Like that's actually perfect for Rick Barnes.
They got the strong guys again. They got the picture, the team picture where they're flexing and stuff. That's what Rick Barnes likes. Like that's what they do.
God,
the pseudo football team. Let's get out of this exhibition without an injury.
I was just going to say, you probably just want to get out of this exhibition healthy.
Yeah.
That's hopefully. Cam's going off that game, though. He's gonna introduce himself to the world that game. Especially because honestly, he's not going to do a lot against UCF. Watch.
I don't think so either.
And then people are going to be like, ooh, Cam Boozer's terrible. He's the buzz.
Fall down the draft board for
overrated.
Like 3 days.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna come out and burn Tennessee, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry."
I think Pat also might be able to make some moves against Jalen Carey.
I'd like to see it, man. Take advantage of that size.
That's all you gotta do.
That's all I got to do here. So,
Oh,
no,
Hey, no problem. No problem.
this is pause-free podcasting. All right, quick score prediction. I'll go first. I think we lose. I think it'll be kind of an ugly.
Yo.
I think it'll be an ugly game. I think it'll,
Season hasn't even started, and your TK has
Wow,
us
TK's
losing.
in mid-season form, baby.
78-74. I think we take an L, but I don't think it's like a real loss, if that makes sense. I don't think John's going to try a lot of different things. I do think that if things get a little ugly, he's going to take some guys out to preserve their health. So I just don't. John's not playing this game to win, so I don't even want to call it losing.
I think he is.
So
though.
I don't think he is.
I do.
I think you play to win to a certain degree. You don't play all out to win. There's a difference between all out to win and just to win. Like, I don't think he's just gonna throw some shit out there unless the team is not listening to him. And I don't think that's the case with the squad. This squad has been nothing but head down, do what needs to be done. Do your work because you can win a championship with the squad. From everything I've heard, this team is not one of those ones you have to remind to be competitive.
I think this is a good opportunity because you're going to blow out UCF, like you said, it'll be like 100 to 50, and I think this is a good opportunity for John to kind of go Coach K here, and almost Chuck Daly it, just
he only had to do that.
Throw it a little bit.
So Chuck Daly had to do that because the team was so good. B, they weren't jiving. Like we've all seen the documentaries. Yeah. Coach K never did it for a team that he didn't have to do with. He never did it with Battier and Jason Williams and them. He never did it with those squads. Like there might be little things he did with Jason Williams or would take him out of the game because he's pissed at him or something like that because he's doing something. But it was never like wholesale. I'm coaching this game to lose so I can teach y'all a lesson. And I don't think John's gonna have to do that second exhibition end against Tennessee with this particular team. I hear what you're saying. I don't agree. I think we're winning this game 80 to 60, 80 to 65. The only other exhibition that we've lost preseason was when we got beat by a Houston team that was a 1 seed, and we were a team that might not a tournament team until we made it to the Elite Eight, and we're a half away against NC State when we lost to Houston in the secret scrimmage prior to that second season.
I don't even count that. So, that was that entire second. They only played one half of basketball. Everything else was fine. Just
the box score said the quote unquote box score said we lost. How that team played, I'm not surprised because Houston was a 1 seed that season and we were not. Like Tennessee is not better. You're right. And Tennessee is not better than the Duke team by any stretch of the imagination. So I see what you're saying, TK. I don't know that it's possible for him to coach this game to lose. You take the starters out, the second unit is as good as this Tennessee team. That's just my opinion on them.
Yeah.
All right, wrap it up, Jack.
81-76 Duke wins. It's going to be a fun one. As fun as a game that literally has no meaning can be. I'm really excited for there to be 2 Duke basketball games in the next 7 days.
I want to give just a completely random shout out to Pablo's boy Cade Tyson for dropping 28.
Shout out Cade Tyson. Leaves Carolina, instantly becomes good again.
No longer ass. Good for him.
Take note. College basketball players, take note.
That's right.
I don't think they have to be convinced too hard.
I'll tell you what is not ass, and that is the 5-point play mailbag. And this is obviously the Beehaj Natty Light official scoreboard 5-point play podcast.
The mail's here. Come on, guys. Here's the mail.
Let Steve cook.
Never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
All right, and our first
my goat, Steve.
Our first question comes from Beehaj's wife. How many natty lights will he average per? Oh, that's not right. That was a DM. Sorry. Okay, so our first one comes from Marshall. This is a good one. I believe this team isn't built to play through point guards. To what extent do you all agree and think we might see lineups that don't include one of Caleb Foster or Caden Boozer this season?
Can I take that one to start?
Yeah.
So I think even in lineups that have Caleb Foster, there's not going to be a true point guard because I don't think Caleb Foster is a true point guard. I think he's a combo scoring guard. I think the only time Duke's ever going to have one guy the offense has to flow through is when Caden Boozer's on the court. Look at this roster. You have Sarr, you have Hamania, you have Cam Boozer, you have Caleb Foster, you have Big Pat, you have Malik Brown. Literally, basically everyone who we are projecting right now to be in the rotation, except for maybe Evans, is an above average passer. And even Evans is a pretty good passer. It's just that that's not exactly what he's looking for on the court. I do not think that Duke is really ever going to truly be relying on a point guard. I think it's going to be rely on these guys and their natural playmaking instincts.
Yeah, go ahead, EC. I know where you stand on this.
Yeah, I mean, the true point guard is dead. I know right now they're making a big deal about Braden Smith, taking 5 years to break Bobby Hurley's record. So they're gonna claim it, and he gets to claim the record because you're allowed to play 5 years now. So it's fine, whatever. But Braden Smith is gonna possibly break Bobby Hurley's record. He has to average 11 assists a game. So we'll see if he does it. But that point guard is done, man. Even with Caden Boozer is gonna have to prove he can score if he's gonna get time on the floor on this team this year. Because under John, it's been proven that we need somebody who can score. We can't have a fifth dude out there like a Trey Jones his freshman year who's going to have drop coverage and disrupt the entire offense. We can't have that. You got to be able to knock down the three. You got to be able to take the ball to the rack. I think the closest thing to a de facto point guard we'll have is Nick Hamenia, because I think he's going to run the pick and roll actions when we have them. Again, he's the best option for it because he can score the ball. But because of how he can see over the defense and how he moves the ball, how he passes, he's the best one we have in those picking actions. So yeah, no, you're right. There's no true point guard. The Cooper Flagg has the most assists per game under John Shire, and that was at 4.1. And you're talking about a generational basketball player only averaging 4.1 assists a game. So the days of a Chris Duhon at 5 assists, 6 assists a game, Jay Williams 6 assists a game, Greg Paulus 5.2 assists a game. We're not going to see anybody like that this year in particular. And like Jack said, probably not ever under John Shire because that's not how he runs the offense anyway.
I think one thing I wanted to bring up on this, because I really like the question, but my mind went somewhere different. I don't want Caleb Foster to play that way.
Yeah, sure.
I want Caleb Foster.
We saw what happened to him last year.
Exactly. Just be who you are.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that you can't improve in your decision making and cleaning some things up. But I want you to play like Caleb Foster. And if you do that, you will continue to be the leader on this team.
I'd like it to look like what Quinn Cook gave us on that 14-15 team. That's what I like in the situation too.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I don't think he's not as good a shooter as Quinn Cook was that senior year.
And that's what I worry about.
However, I do think he's going to be a lot better getting to the rack. But
potentially. Quinn could get to the rack, A, because of his handle, and B, he was not Kyrie level finisher, but Quinn Cook was an amazing finisher.
That's where Foster needs to get better.
But I just want to. What I want to see is just him having that willingness to draw the defense with his ability to score, but then can dish it off when need be. John at the ACC media day was like, "Oh, Caleb had 9 assists today, or whatever it was," and I was like, "Cool, whatever, man." Did he turn the ball over? I don't care.
How many turnovers did he have?
He said 0. So that's a practice, though. I want to see this in games. I want to see Caleb be that aggressive guy in games, and that's all I care about. I don't need him to be a point guard. He's tried for 2 years now to be a point guard and hasn't worked.
Yep. All right, so good question there from Marshall. We got another one from him coming up here. But we'll go to CT5186. This is all on our Discord, so get on our Discord. You definitely want to be
Discord by joining our Patreon for free.
That's right, and you definitely want to get on there for all the games. We were talking off camera about the game day threads. They're fantastic. Boy, TK will be there. But anyway, so this question is: which non-starting player takes the biggest leap this year, or makes the biggest impact? And I will say that obviously we kind of already touched on this. We don't know for sure who the starters are, like we think we do. We think we know who 4 of them are.
So is he talking about non-starters from last year or non-starters this year?
starters, and I think it's a good question because it could really go a number of different directions with this
Right.
one. But when it comes to taking the biggest leap, making the biggest impact, I know he's going to be a starter, but to me, it's just everything goes back to Foster. I'm going to be a broken record on this podcast this season. Everything to me comes back to Foster.
Okay. I don't think he's make or break because of his position. His position is replaceable with what this team has. Big Pat, if we're talking about non-starters from last year, Big Pat is a non-starter from last year who is going to have to have a tremendous leap to become a starting big who can play a fair amount of minutes and also contribute while he's on the floor. And we've seen the signs. Last year, he was the one big that we had that John could throw down to and would throw down to willingly. When he did get his lion's share of minutes, he was very effective, very efficient, and the team looked really good. And there were some big games he was in down the stretch of last year, as opposed to Malawach. The Clemson game he was in, the Wake Forest game he was in the season, in the ACC tournament he was in that Carolina game. So John has put him in spots. And so if you're talking about non-starters from last year, I'm going Big Pat. I think it's a no-brainer for in terms of impact because his position is irreplaceable because he's the only one we got.
This is iffy disrespect.
Yeah, he's the only one we got. I said it. I love Iffy. If Iffy can give us 5 strong minutes to keep Big Pat's feet healthy, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Keep Malik Brown's shoulder healthy, please. If he do that for 5 minutes for me, but I need Malik Brown on the floor because he's the best defender I've seen in 24 years at Duke. And
not according to Andy Katz.
whatever. And Big Pat is the only big that we have that can produce at the rim consistently to be able to draw the defense down and spread the floor for our shooters.
Yeah, Jack, I'll get to you in just a second. I wanted to just say this on Big Pat. I expect all that from Big Pat, and that's why I went with Caleb because I feel like it'll happen with Caleb Foster. I expect it with Big Pat. Like I'd be stunned if it's not that with him. Go ahead, Jack.
If we're talking about last year non-starters, the answer is obviously Pat for both.
Yeah.
We're talking this year, guys who we know are not going to start. Biggest leap is probably going to be Darren, but biggest impact is probably going to be Malik. I don't really feel like that either of those needs to be explained. I think everyone kind of understands at this point. Like Darren, they've been hyping Darren up for a reason.
Yep.
I think he's going to get, like we've said repeatedly this summer, he's going to get every opportunity to prove himself on the court. And then Malik obviously is the best defender that Duke has had since Shane Battier. We've said that repeatedly as well. He's going to be an impact player. I don't think he's going to start. If he is starting, that means that somebody's injured, most likely. But he's going to be the ultimate role player for the team. He's going to make an impact every game he plays.
Yeah, let's keep it right there with Mr. Mo, best friends with Pops, Coach P. Mr. Mo says, I'll throw one more at you. What does Pat need to do to reach his ceiling this year? Is it a style play from John, the play of our guards, or simply Pat taking that big leap forward? So AC kind of just expand, I guess, a little bit on what you just said.
Stay out of foul trouble. That's it. Like we're gonna assume health. We're not gonna play that game, but stay out of foul. The things he can control, stay out of foul trouble. Last year he got into foul trouble a couple of situations, not very often. It wasn't consistent, so I don't think it's a problem for him. But teams are gonna attack him because they know he's our only big. So just him playing smart positional defense, being able to board the way he can, and not pick up cheap fouls and things. I think that's the most important thing he can do for us.
Yeah, for me, Jack, is I like the way he phrased the question. I hope that John does run some sets for him where the goal is to get the ball down, because I think that we said this on previous podcasts that since Jaleel Okafor, he is the most skilled big that we have had, especially with his back to the basket. I hope that I just think that if you're able to throw the ball down a handful of times each game to Big Pat, it's just going to open up everything else and keep the defense honest. Because Big Pat, he will step out, he will take a three.
Sure.
So to be able to do both, I just think it keeps the defense off balance, and he's just gonna have a big year for us. So that's why I see that one. Jack, go ahead.
You guys are gonna hate how I phrase this, but I don't think he's gonna reach his ceiling at Duke. I don't think he is. I think the only way he does is if John runs a system of offense that they ran in 2015 with Jaleel. And I don't think he's gonna do that. I think, yeah, I'd love to see him, improve and get closer to that ceiling of what he can be in college with John having them throw the ball into the post a few times a game, but I don't think he ever reaches his full collegiate potential unless he's the first option on the team, and I don't see that happening.
Here's a question: do you think he'll be closer to Jaleel Okafor or closer to Marquise Bolden?
Jaleel. Is he going to score more than 5 points per game?
In what
So
way?
I guess I'm if we don't think that, because I don't know that I agree that he won't reach his ceiling at Duke.
When I say that, I mean I think
I know
he
what you
has the
mean.
potential to be like an 18 points and 9 rebounds
Yeah.
a game guy. I don't think he's ever going to be that because of the way
Here's the
that
thing
John
about
runs
that. For
offense.
him at his position, for him to be an 18 or 19 point per game guy, that means you're taking a lot of efficient shots away from somebody on the outside. Even when he
That's what
gets
I'm
to
saying.
even when he gets to the league, I don't know that he's going to be that guy. 18 or 19 is very different in college than it is in the NBA. So we don't need to talk about the difference there. But I don't know that he'll ever be somebody that they just throw to all the time. So in that regard, like thinking that way, I think he'll be closer to Marquise, not in terms of talent and production, because I think he'll produce better than that. But I think you're just talking about somebody who is a role player, secondary player, as opposed to one of your go-to guys. I don't know that we're going to be a team like a Purdue that throws to their big all game, because that's what it's going to take for him to be an 18 or 19 or 20 point guy in
And
college.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Is a Zach Edey type system, and John's never going to run that. And you already got Cam Boozer on the team who also operates in the paint. So there's a lot of sharing that's going to have to be done this year, but Cam is going to get most of it. So
I will.
Pat's he's a third, fourth option for this team at best, but he's going to be really good with it.
I will say Marquise was basically every time he was on the court, he was the last option on the court.
Sure. But good.
So I'm going to say Pat will never be the last option. Oh, he was a fantastic player. Don't get it twisted. It's just that he was very much a defense first. Like the guy I always kind of compared him to was that DeAndre Jordan type of player.
Sure.
And
but I still think he holds
Jordan,
that role closer to that than a Jaleel Okafor, where we're going to throw the ball to him and win us a game. I don't know that we're ever going to have a game this year where we throw the ball to Pat to win a game for us.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case either.
So that's why I put him closer to Bolden.
Yeah, I think he's.
I just feel like those are two extremes, and there's definitely something.
So they're extremes, but if we're talking about a number line, I'm putting it
number
one way.
line.
I'm skewing
I'd
it
say
one way or the other.
60-40 to Okafor's favor, probably.
I do too.
And I'm skewing the other way to Bolden.
But again, I'm not going toward the production of it. I'm going toward the way that they play. I don't think that he plays anywhere close to what Bolden used to play.
And that's not what I'm saying.
I can recall Marquise taking like 2 or 3 shots out of the post that were not.
I'm not.
But I agree
drop
with you.
Step dunks.
Yeah, and I agree with you, AC, that the difference, obviously, when we're talking about Jaleel, is Jaleel wasn't the first option. He was the first, second, and third option on that team.
Right, and that's what I mean.
Exactly, and he won't be. I agree with you. He won't be the first, second.
Even in the NBA, Pat Ngongba will not. In my opinion, he will not ascend to that level where he is somebody's top three options. Where Bolden had his games. He had his games where he was force fed the ball and he did work with it. And I think it's gonna be the same for. That's all I'm saying. It's gonna be the same for Pat. Where every game he's not gonna have 20. There are games where he has the potential to get 20 for us. So his is more based on what do we need today, more so than Jaleel Okafor was like, you build your scout around him. Good luck. That's not going to be Pat's.
Do you think Pat? I know we're going to have our prediction podcast next week, but do you think Pat averages double digits in points?
I think so. I think like 11, 10 tops. And a lot of that's going to be on putbacks on the offensive rebounding side of the ball. He is going to get the ball thrown down to him by John Shire. We saw it last year, so it's only going to increase this year to a degree because you have a Cam Boozer in the post with you. Whereas last year he was the only big on the floor because Coop was playing outside and he wasn't in the game very often with Kaman. So this year he's going to share the space with with Cam Boozer and at times probably Malik Brown as well. Not that Malik's going to take a bunch of points from him, but yeah, no, I think if he's averaging 10 or 11, I think that's awesome because you're going to have 3 other guards on the team and Cam Boozer who are in double digits.
All right. So this is the last question again from Marshall. This is probably my favorite question. So, what is one thing Duke will be a lot better at than anyone realizes right now? Would you all be more impressed by the staff turning Caleb Foster into a positive offensive contributor, Darren Harris into an every game rotation piece, or Slim into a big minute starter? So I'll read that again. Would you be more impressed by the staff for turning Caleb Foster into an offensive weapon, Darren Harris into an every game rotation piece, or Slim into a big minute starter? What will be the most impressive thing from the coaching staff perspective? AC, go ahead.
Slim. A guy that, like, those other two things to me are individual accolade type things. Can Caleb Foster get his mind right to be able to be a scorer for this team because he's going to be given the chance to? Can Darren Harris lock in games enough to be the shooter that we know he can be and that type of stuff? That's individual stuff to me. That's not that there's a coaching element to that, obviously with development, but you put the guys in place to do the things, and if they can't do the things, then that's on them, not so much the coaches. With Slim, that's his is going to be a coaching battle all year because the kid is already he's already thinking about the next level. So now you got to bring him back down to earth and say, can we get through the season and you focus and lock in on this team and show the world what you can do so that you can make your draft position as good as possible. You saw it in CCC. We already talked about it, like the shot selection with him, chucking. We know that's going to be a part of his life. So from a coaching standpoint, do you curb it? Do you allow it? Do you build it into what you do? You know it's going to happen a few times, but you've built an offensive rebounding juggernaut around him. So, yeah, that's to me that's a big part of the equation. So I'm going with Slim.
What about you, Jack?
I'm also gonna go with Slim. I'm gonna be completely honest. I think all 3 of those things, I wouldn't be shocked at any of them. In fact, I almost expect them all from this coaching staff because we have a really good coaching staff at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
And these are it's literally just Caleb getting his mind right after the debacle that was him getting in his head last year. And then there's Darren, who this is a coaching staff that can develop guys really well, and they're giving him every opportunity to become a regular rotational piece. And then there's Isaiah, who, like AC said, they're gonna have to manage him down to being an effective college player, if that makes sense. And I think if the coaching staff and Isaiah collaboratively can do that, he's going to be a big minute starter. But again, that is so much easier said than done when you are expected to be one of the best players on Duke's basketball team, there is an ego piece that comes into that for sure. But I think that's what I would be most impressed with of the 3 options.
Yeah, I'm with you both. I think it's definitely Slim. I agree the way you put that, AC, that the other 2 are more individual. I will say that the Foster one, I think the coaching work was done in the off season on that one. I think with Darren, it's just going to come down to when the lights are on, are you going to do it?
He's got to see results. Yeah.
Right. I don't think that has a whole lot to do with coaching. It's either you can do it when the lights are on or you're Alex Murphy. So that's the reality. When it comes to Slim, though, and I definitely talked about this last week, it's going to come down to, I said that he's not going to have the JJ Redick green light. He's going to have the green light, but it's not that green. And it's going to come down to how does John manage that? How does John manage when you get into situations when Slim is taking shots that maybe we don't want him to take? I think that he can make them. I think he can make them, but at the same time, game time situations and the amount of weapons that are on this team, there's a time and place for each of it. And I just think the last thing you want to do is take his confidence away. The last thing you want to do is make him, pissed and get his mind anywhere other than being where it needs to be.
And that's where the coaching comes in, right?
Exactly. And that's
the focus for Zay is going to be the casual focus for Zay is going to be on offense. But does John get him to lock in on defense and on defense in particular the rebounding part of the game too?
Yeah.
we saw it. We saw it at CTC. We saw it in some of the practice clips. Zay is a good defender.
Yes,
Like he's got the arm length and wingspan for it.
We saw it a little bit last year.
Yeah, he's in good positions at times.
Wasn't there a big spot in the Auburn? It was the Auburn game or another big game.
I want to say it's a different one.
Yeah, it was. It definitely.
I know what you're talking about.
I say it. He had that stretch where he just absolutely locked a guy down. It was a crucial stretch of a game.
I think it was an ACC tournament. When Coop went
yes,
down.
it was.
After Coop went down.
Yes, it was.
It was either that Georgia Tech game, right? Yeah.
It was. It was the Georgia Tech game.
But that's him, right? Like that's what's gonna that through the bad shots, that's what's gonna keep him on the floor is that defense. If he's shooting bad shots and playing bad defense, you can't play him.
Right.
But if he's shooting bad shots but he's playing really good defense, you can play him. If he's doing both things well, then he's an All-American.
And that comes down to the coaching aspect of getting him to understand that.
To buy in.
Yeah. When it's the old coach care, right? It's the perfect way to end. Is that you can take that fire to either warm up the house or burn it down. And so that's really what John Shire is going to have to do when coaching Slim. And that's not to sit here and be like, oh, Slim's not a good teammate. I think he's going to be a great teammate. It's just like the type of player that he knows he can be and that he is. Like I think that's going to, and he's still young. That's the other thing is that everybody expects these guys because they're getting paid now to be these finished products at 19, 20 years old. That's not the case. So the coaching staff will be patient with him. The fans need to be patient with him as well because he's going to have some monster games this year. He's going to have games when he puts up 25 plus. Like there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to have 1 or 2 games this year where he has 7 or 8 threes.
You talked about Jamal Crawford to start this podcast. He's the college Jamal Crawford, bro.
So that's it for the 5 Point Play podcast. B Hodge sponsored Natty Light scoreboard mailbag. We did have one last question. AC, any recruiting news for tomorrow?
Just have to say, if you're old enough to remember Josh Howard, his bloodline is coming back to the ACC, and I know there's 2 teams on the list, but I wouldn't be smiling if I thought it was the other one.
Oh, that doesn't even have his name on it. There's a Ryan Howard jacket.
Jack trying to go baseball. Jack, just like my Mets, the Phillies are done. Put them away for the next season. Just put them away.
Hey man. At least we made it. At least we made it to October baseball.
Price of Howard, another one.
Keep an eye on my Instagram. You'll get the news there.
That's right. All right, so that's it for us. We will see you guys tomorrow. We got a game. We got an official scrimmage, Brotherhood run. We're ready to roll.
Basketball game
is
hours.
A couple weeks away officially from starting. I am pumped.
I got to dust off my college 2K8, my NCAA 2K8 on the Xbox 360.
Oh, I gotta turn on the PS3, man.
I gotta dust it off.
You know where. Tell them where to find us, Jack.
Thank you, guys. You know what it is. Subscribe on YouTube. We're on that road to 500. We're getting closer and closer every day. Thank you guys for checking in. Instagram, Twitter, Patreon. If you have any questions, you can email us. Join the Patreon. You get free Discord access. Join the paid Patreon. You get paid Discord access with some inside info.
Free Patreon is going to have the Encore podcast. It's going to have live streams. It's going to have all those things. So
you guys know what it is. As always, let's go Duke.
Go Duke.